Hi there, this is Roger, just going into part 2 of the videos for Myportal for Outlook. As we can see, we've just finishing the last video. We've got the schedule outbound call that we set up within the first video. So if we now tick on that, it will start calling that person. So it's a very good way to, schedule your outbound calls. Let's hang that up, and we can cancel that. So it's a good way to manage outbound calls so you don't forget about them. So unified communications, a lot of it is all based around presence. So it's all about you managing, where you want your calls to go to at different times of the day. And if you're in meetings, if you're out the office, if you are on holiday, where do you want your calls to go to? So it's all about you managing your own presence. So in here, we've got a list of, so these are the lists that, that Unify give us. So what we can do is we can put ourselves into a meeting. So if we click now and put ourselves into a meeting for an hour, it then changes my icon. So I've now put myself into a meeting. So everybody else now within the internal directory can see that I'm in a meeting until that time. And now I'm managing where my calls to go to. So in default, all the calls will go to voicemail. So they will say, so let's make a call to myself.
Roger is in a meeting until 10:07 a.m. today.
So so I can leave it so people can hear exactly what's going on. This is for external people as well. If you want them to, you can disable it if you'd rather. But so you're managing where your calls are going to. It's telling the person who's calling in that you're in a meeting, and and that to that specific time, and you can leave a message. However, if you wanted to, maybe when you're in a meeting, you want it to go to a colleague or you want it to go somewhere else, you can set this up in the setup menu, and it's done then. So you set it up once, and then it's done, and then you can just manage this via this drop down here. It can all be dropped down, so you change yourself back into a meeting, and it's done. This also interacts with your Outlook calendar. So if you've got an appointment saying, it says meeting with Bob, it will automatically then change your present status to be in a meeting. So you don't even have to do it from here. If you manage everything from Outlook calendar, and if you put that specific, any of these words in there, then at that time, within your Outlook calendar, it will then change your present status and divert your call to wherever. So, it's a very easy way. And you can also manage this via, there's an application for your smartphone as well, so you can change your presence on there. So it's all about, you managing where your calls want to go to. People don't have to start thinking, hang on, he's out the office, we need to call his mobile. You've already set your presence to that. So I'm out the office, and all my calls would then go to my mobile. Or if you're on holiday, maybe a colleague. On sick, the My Attendant can change your presence to be on sick. So, if you have called in, people can see at a glance that, Roger's off sick for a day. Okay, so we put ourselves back into the office, and there we go. We're back in. Our icon's changed again, and everybody can see we're back in the office again. What we can also do is, if we drop this down and we put ourselves back into the office, we've got this Call Me services. What this does is, just say we're out and about or we're working from home, we can divert all our calls to a specific number. So these are the 3 numbers that I've got within my personal settings. So if I just say I'm working from the London office, I can click on that number there. So I've made the, so I'm still in the office, but I'm using the Call Me feature now. So people now can see my icon. I've got a little divert kind of arrow on there. And what this then does is any calls that come in for me to my extension or my DDI, it will then go to that specific number, which is all good, but that's just a kind of a divert really. But the good thing about this is, just say I wanted to now call somebody within the internal directory or the external directory, so I click and call that person. The telephone system then calls that number, so it'll call the London office. I can then take the call, and then it will then put me straight through to whatever extension I've dialed. And the same with external. If I was calling an external person from my Outlook my Outlook contacts, it will then call me wherever I am, and then call to that external party, and it'll then come from the office number. So it's not giving away, just say you're working from home and you didn't want to give out your and incur any call charges as well. So the telephone system's always calling you. So the Call Me function is it's very strong. So we put ourselves back into the office, return to the office, and there we go. Everybody can see we're back in again. Just going back to quick dialing, what we've got is the feature to highlight any number and call from it. So just say we've got a number here within an email. What we can do is we can highlight that, and I've set up Control Z, and it will start calling that number straight away. So it is very, very good. You know, it saves you so much time. There's that outbound call, that schedule call. It saves you so much time. You know, from any kind of website, you can just highlight the number and call. You know, no more messing about with writing things down. Control Z, and away you go. There you go. We're ringing straight away. Very, very good tool. You know, saves you so much time. What we can also do is we can right-click on an email. So if we right-click on here and go to Myportal, what we've got there is the number. Click on that, and away you go. We can start calling Matty. We'll hang that up. So yeah, so from any email we can do it. It's the same with from the your Outlook contacts within the people there. We can right-click on an actual contact, and again you've got the same Myportal at the bottom, and you can just call from there. So it's a very good way to call people. What we've also got is favourites. So obviously we've got loads of different directories here. We've got internal, external, we've got any kind of LDAP directories, any active directories. So what we can do is we can create different categories and just drag and drop people into it. So just say we're on, you know, we're in something completely different, another application. This pops up all the time. We just go over to the left-hand side and we can just literally right-click and call that person. And again, we can do it with external people. You know, you can have different external people in there. Right-click on the person and call them. So, you know, you're not coming into Outlook all the time. You're not going into your directories. You can just right-click and call from there. Okay. Moving on to conferences. What we've got here is we've got a ad hoc conference. So what this does is we can drag and drop people into the conference, or we can just right-click and add somebody in there. So if we do a add participant, let's do Matty. Do a search. There he is. We can add him into the with his mobile. Let's do somebody else. Let's just put in. I'll just do 109. Search that person. There we go. Add them into the conference, and there we go. If we close that now, so we've got 3 participants in the conference. We can just click on start, and it'll start ringing the specific extensions or the external parties that we've put into the conference, and everybody will come straight into a conference. It will then say, Roger has invited you to a conference. You come in, and it's a really good way of doing an ad hoc conference. You know, it's straight in, nice and easy. It's good for kind of, you know, I think internal, you know, internal meetings. If you just want to, you know, grab loads of people together quickly, you can just do it. Very good way of doing conferences. We've also got the managed conference. So in here, there's a whole host of different conferences that you can have. You know, everybody has their own specific conference bridge. Rather than having a company-wide one, you've got, you know, individual conference bridge, so you can create your own ID. You can then send out invites to people. They can call in. It'll say, please enter your conference ID. You then put in your password, whatever you've sent out, and people will come in, and you can see on your screen like a big spider of people, and you can manage them from there. So you can disconnect people, you know, you can mute people on there. So yeah, it's a really good way of doing conferences, and you can have a maximum of 16 people in the conference. We've also got here, so we can just literally, it shows us all the numbers that we've been calling. We can literally just click on that and call that person. Or put in a number in there. So it's, again, you've just got the ability to transfer and record up in the corner there, or just put the number straight in and hit dial and it will call. I think that's about it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I will be putting more in-depth videos on this application and the standalone Myportal, so keep an eye out for them. Okay, cheers now, bye.